Sunrise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast, number 2250. Oh, hang on, I don't think I changed the day number. No, 2252, the last day of September. I did get the number right. Yay. And tonight we're talking about bonds across time. This is episode 2 of volume 23, The Threads That Bind, which is what we're talking about this week. So hope you're all buckled in and ready to go and ready to rock and roll. And let's see, did we have anything exciting happen today? No, we had a very quiet day today. Yesterday, after having a nauseating headache for most of the day, today was actually pretty good. So it was super fantastic and sparkling. Anyway, some connections outlast the ticking of the clock. Bonds across time link us to people who have gone before us, to ancestors we may never have met, and to loved ones who live on in our hearts. These bonds remind us that love and legacy do not fade with the years. They remain holding us close, even when the world around us changes. Absolutely so true. It teaches us that time does not diminish true connection. It often deepens it. Yes, yeah, they always say that time heals wounds and things fade with time. With bonds, they can actually get stronger. Stories and memories can carry love forward into the present. Bonds can stretch across generations, giving us roots and grounding. Honoring the ties of the past allows us to walk more fully into the future. Oh, those ties to the past are so in store. Especially telling the stories. I am a storyteller. I will tell stories till the cows come home. And then even then some more. Where did that originate from? Known that saying my whole life, talking till the cows come home. What happens when we allow ourselves to see time as a bridge, not a barrier? Generational bonds give us a sense of belonging and continuity. We feel less alone, knowing that love outlasts physical presence. Reflection on these ties brings peace and clarity during moments of change. When you're researching your family history, and I notice this a lot because one of my favorite programs to watch is Who Do You Think You Are?, where they take a celebrity and they take them on a journey to help them find more information about an ancestor that they had. They've heard about, in one case, the mother never talked about her mother, so she wanted to know about her grandmother. So this person wanted to know about their grandmother, and found some interesting stories about her and figured out why her mother never wanted to talk about her. But she was a very, very interesting character. But these stories unfold, or having a legacy of family being passed down through generation after generation after generation. Why? Why was family so important? Where did that start? And they go back and they find these, it goes back all the way through all these great grandfathers to find where that loyalty to family came from, and opened up some beautiful stories and some incredible moments. I love watching that show just because it helps people understand more about where they come from, who they found, and things like that. Some of them are real tearjerkers. One of them, I can't remember who. Their many times great grandmother was about to be executed as a witch in Salem, but they had that ruling come in that then abolished all the killings of the witches in Salem, and so she was saved. For which this person was extremely grateful for, because she wouldn't be here today had she not been had her many times great grandmother not been saved. There are such rich stories out there, and you probably go, "Oh yes, they're a celebrity, so they find all these stories." Blah blah blah. You have stories in your tree too, and those bonds across the time, and those bonds get passed down because you're made up of those people that came before you. You have to think about that. There's a lot of people that had to come together for you to be here today. Think about that. I got to find that poem again. Needs to be read out again. And through each generation that has been passed down through the generations has been this bond linking linking you to past family, to past generations who have come before you. So you're actually walking in the footsteps of your ancestors. Think about that. How we carry forward. Share stories of those who came before so their lives continue to inspire. Acknowledge the ways loved ones remain part of your daily life. And there are ways that they remain. Yes, very definitely. I could have sworn I heard Zeffie's nails clipping on the tiles today. I had to get up and go check. I thought she was walking from the kitchen into the room behind me to come into here, because I could hear the little click, 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 and I went and had a look, and there was nothing there. So there are ways that the loved ones remain part of our daily life. It could be in the sounds that we hear, the smells that we see, the sense. We're using all 5 senses. It could be in any of those. And you go, taste, how do you do the taste thing? Maybe you had a meal that tasted something like one of your ancestors used to create, or a loved one who has past created. Yeah, there's a meal that Brad's favorite thing to make. He said he used to make it for the boys when they were growing up, and it was just a quick meal. So there'll be times where I just didn't feel like cooking. He's like, I got it. And he'd go make toast, and he would put mayonnaise on both pieces of toast, and then he'd put some lettuce on one piece of toast, and then he'd put some scrambled eggs on the other piece of toast, and just stand it together, cut it on the diagonal, and there was your dinner. It was actually pretty good. And there's times that I felt like having that. And so I've made it as best I can. Like I have avocado mayo instead of the regular mayo, and I have power greens instead of lettuce, but it's a way to honor his memory by creating a dish that was one of his signature dishes. So that's how you can, that's how they can always remain part of your daily life. What are you doing today that they used to do that's honoring their memory? There's that bond is always there. A lot of my personality and stuff has been passed down through generations as well. I've got the crazy aunts in there. I've got actually, they're not crazy. They're really lovely people. A little one-sided in their thinking. Yeah, probably. But I love them anyway. They're my aunts. I love having conversation with my aunts. You can get very interesting conversations with my aunts, depending on which one you're talking to and what we're discussing at the time. Great aunts, absolute. I loved my great aunts. My great aunts would come out with the best stories. And I had these 2 great aunts. One of them was the twin sister of my grandfather. I had 3 of my 4 grandparents are twins. So my paternal grandfather, his twin sister, she would talk nonstop. Even she'd sit there and just pepper me with questions. I'd give her the answers and all that. Then I was staying with her one time, and then her older son came over, and I hadn't seen him in, I don't know how long. I hadn't seen him in a number of years. And so he's trying to catch up with me and talk this. So he'd ask me a question and his mother would answer. I couldn't get a word in edgeways until he turned and says, Mum, quiet. I'm asking Helen. And then my great aunt, that same great aunt, who was the twin sister of my grandfather, her and her sister would sit there, and it was so amazing to watch this. They would sit there in the same room next to each other, and they would be talking to each other at the same time, telling each other their stories, but at the same time throwing in their comments on the other sister's story. So they were commenting on each other's stories, asking questions on each other's stories while telling their story at the same time. I tell you, it was a knack it was a very interesting thing to watch and to witness. And I don't know how they managed to do that, but that's why I'm so screwed. I come from a long line of storytellers. And this is a way that I honor their memories, my ancestors' memories with their stories, by telling stories about them, telling stories about from clients' files for things that were found during their genealogy searches, watching shows and telling those stories. Just telling the stories is a way that I honor my ancestors' storytelling abilities. So you can create rituals or traditions that honor enduring bonds. Absolutely. I still have not had a chance to sit down and watch any of the movies that Brad liked, like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Star Wars, the original 3, which was episodes 4, 5, and 6, the new part of Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. I haven't had a chance to watch any of those, but the last 2 nights I have been watching Taken. I watched Taken 1 a couple of nights ago, watched Taken 2 last night, watching Taken 3 tonight. He enjoyed those. He enjoyed action movies. So kind of in a way I'm honoring that, but I haven't done my traditional one because I really haven't had the time to play, you know, a 3-hour long movie. The taken ones are like under 2 hours each, because I've got a lot of sorting and packing to do. So some things have had to be put on hold, and then I realized I woke up with this thought this morning. Oh my gosh, November is James Bond month. All my stuff's going to be in ship, and you know, all my stuff is going to be in transit at that time. What am I going to do for James Bond month in New Zealand? I'm like, I know. One of the collections I have of the James Bond movies is in a book. It's about this long, about this high, about this thick, and it's got the DVDs for every single movie in there, but I think it's only the first 20, I think. I have to go and have a look. And the other ones, the ones that add into that book, I have in the jewel cases. So because that's the jets. Had to listen for a little bit. Could hear the rumbling. So I have a collection that I can take with me, so I can continue watching my James Bond, doing my James Bond fest in November. So then I thought, oh, that means I'm going to have to buy a DVD player when I get to New Zealand, and that means I'm going to have a TV to plug it into, because I don't think my parents' DVD player does multi-region. Yeah, we got a little sorting out to do on that one. Well, I'll figure it out. I might have to skip November for that one. But then I have December with the holidays coming when I do the holiday fest. So what do I do then? I'm going to have to figure that out. But anyway, back to how we carry forward. Notice your choices today ripple into the future, strengthening the bonds that bind, the threads that bind. Your legacy connection is bonds across time are not only about looking back, they're also about looking forward. The way we live today shapes the stories and the connections future generations will inherit. By choosing love, kindness, and presence, we leave behind a tapestry, that continues to bind long after we're gone. And our story weaves these most beautiful tapestries, and they tie into the tapestries of all the generations that have come before us, not just straight back, but also the sideway branches as well, with the aunts and the uncles and all of that. The whole family tapestry is coming together, and it is an incredible thing. Every time somebody is born, they start their portion of that tapestry, and their portion of the tapestry ends when they die, but it lives on because it's part of the whole family tapestry. Isn't that cool? Okay, so we have 4 reflection questions for you tonight. Number 1, what bond from your past continues to shape you today? Number 2, how do you honor the memory of someone who has passed while carrying them into your present life? Keep them alive with the stories. Number 3, in what ways do your choices today weave threads for future generations? And number 4, what practices or rituals help you feel connected to bonds that stretch across time? And our closing thought for this evening is, though time may change our circumstances, it cannot sever love. Bonds across time remind us that connection endures, carrying us and those we love into tomorrow with strength and grace. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back